Hey guys, it's time to Nefis and chill, and no, Companions are not coming out with Update 29. I've had so many people ask me, hey, are Companions coming next? When are Companions coming out? But yes, Companions are confirmed to come out with the Update 30 patch for the Elder Scrolls Online, otherwise known as the Blackwood chapter, the main expansion patch of the year-long story for the Elder Scrolls Online. And there's been additional information kinda just coming out steadily from ZeniMax Online Studios, and so far every interview has been with Rich Lambert. So yeah, we're gonna explore it. I'm making this video as well because I also want to know what you guys think about this whole companion thing. I'll offer my thoughts at the end after we go through all this. But yeah. Alright, so obviously one of the major additions coming with the Blackwood chapter will be the new NPC Companions that can join players on their quests. So for those of you who don't know, who haven't really quested much, there are these NPC Companions that already are in the game, kind of, but they're like temporary, depending on the quest line, or they just kind of help you with a quest, and if other people see you with the NPC, that NPC looks like some other NPC that's not a named NPC, so yeah, there is some sort of a shadow of a system like this, but this is going beyond that. Companions are basically going to be with you for as long as you want. Obviously, I think I'll talk about the restrictions probably that I think will occur on the companions, but let's keep going. And this is on the site Spin with the interview with Rich Lambert. All right, and Rich Lambert responses, well, once you have companions unlocked, they're essentially your adventuring buddies. The keyword here is unlocked. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but it could be locked behind story or content. I don't know if this is going to be a crown store thing. It doesn't really sound like it's going to be a crown store thing. That'd be weird. And I think they have to avoid that because I don't know, like it's not really pay to win, but like people will be like, oh, that's pay to win. So probably to avoid a shitstorm, they'll be like, all right, well, you have to do this quest line or something. I don't know. We'll see. We have a lot of players that play ESO solo, and that's a perfectly valid way to play it. This is true, and you know, like I've never really understood why, but I guess it's part of being an Elder Scrolls game, and also like I guess there's some sort of like social anxiety amongst quite a lot of gamers. So you know, playing solo or doing solo builds, and that's why the solo builds from Xynode, Hack the Minotaur, Outcast are so popular. Is because people want to play solo or whenever they want. They don't want to like form groups. They don't want to look for people, or maybe they just haven't found the right guild yet. Who knows? But whatever, it's valid for sure. It's a true Elder Scrolls experience when you don't have to group up with another player if you don't want to, and you can still go through all the stories and experience the world and explore and whatnot. The hope with Companions is for it to help get some of these players into some of the more social aspects of the multiplayer content. They'll have a buddy with them at all times so they can get some extra tanking to soak up some damage. So let's pay attention here from some monsters. Or give them a little bit of extra healing or damage. So this says to me automatically, you can set your companions to probably taunt hostile ads. Or you can set them as a healer role, or maybe even like a buff role. The players can control all of that and set which abilities they use. So I guess you could set their bars. I'm kind of wondering if companions will have like a 5 skill 1 ultimate bar like players do. I don't know if they should have an ultimate slot, but whatever, we'll see what happens. The order that they use them in, and this is pretty cool, the order that they use them in. So you can set a rotation for your companion. I think someone's already said it, but probably like the worst insult after Update 30 or Blackwood chapter is like telling someone your companion does more DPS than them. And of course, you can equip gear on them. So you could maybe take Sororia or some other set that's really good and put it on your companion, which is pretty interesting. I'm actually kind of curious what the limitations of rotation you can set is on your companion. Will it be like perfect weaving? Will they be light attack, light attack GC, light attack GCD? Will they be able to bar swap? I don't know. I'm sure there's gonna be some sort of limitation, but yeah, we'll see. The companions themselves have their own unique likes and dislikes, more on this later. So that kind of report system allows the players to develop bonds with them, which unlocks further stories about those companions. So yeah, I guess basically your companions will actually be cold or warm towards you, depending on what happens, I suppose. I'm not exactly sure how that's gonna work. But yeah, this is the newest interview where they're just kind of talking about the upcoming chapter Blackwood, where they're kind of talking about the story of ESO so far and how successful and so far it's been and how good it is as a single player. The guy interviewing him is also says, I think towards the end, like, oh, I too am a solo player. This is pretty interesting to me. But yeah, that's it for this article. But you can check it out at spin.com. Elder Scrolls Online's comeback stories continues with the Blackwood chapter. And of course, we have 2 more articles where interviews were done again with creative director Rich Lambert. And then this guy's asking about the relationship with your companions. So we're kind of piecing everything together here. When I asked if the relationship with companions could go deeper than just a battle buddy, Lambert said yes, but not in the typical romantic fashion and not right out of the gate. He said the introduction of this mechanic in Oblivion is setting up for a goal the team has in mind for further on Railroad. This is pretty interesting. Like, what's their goal with the companion system? You guys think? I guess like the introduction of a mechanic, like this particular mechanic being you can actually interact with NPCs to a deeper level. I wonder if that will extend to perhaps like just passerby NPCs in towns. Maybe you could potentially affect your relationships with merchants or outlaw refuge NPCs or something like that. That'd be pretty interesting, and definitely that'd be pretty cool to see. But I guess this is all speculation at this point. And Lambert continues, with these companions, they have their own likes and dislikes. Lambert says you can go up one side and down the other side with your relationship to them. And this is the interesting part, right? You can go up one side or down the other side with your relationship to them. So you can definitely have a bad relationship with your companion. I'm not exactly sure how that's going to happen. Like, what? Do you just let them die? Do you not res them with soul gems? Or do you not heal them enough? What's going on? There's going to be something special that unlocks when you max out that relationship spectrum as well. I don't know what this something special could be. Maybe it's like an additional battle bonus. Maybe it's like, I don't know. It could be anything at this point. A house. Maybe make a nice, household life together. Though initially, romance will be part of it, so maybe probably not that idea. All right, down the line though, romance is definitely somewhere we want to get to. So he says down the line. So it feels like the companion system, they have ideas for it, but the first step is just combat. And everything else comes after, I guess. I don't know. We'll see. Romance is definitely something we want to get to. We just want to make sure when we add it that we do it right. So I'm guessing Q4 or potentially next year. I don't know. This sounds like a pretty big system to me, which is surprising to me because like they were at the end of the 2020, at the end of 2020, they sent out that open letter I made a video about, and you guys also commented on that about performance and how they made the mistake of pushing out the regular schedule or cadence of content and patches, and that led to a lot of broken stuff, like Herostorm amidst the COVID pandemic and everyone working from home. Herostorm was awful. First week of Greymore was awful. First week of Stone Thorn was awful, and almost the entirety of Markar, for PvE at least, in terms of performance, was awful. So, and then they said, okay, we're still going to work from home for the time being, but not push out as much, or rather, like, keep to the previous schedule, but I guess they're better prepared. So hopefully they are better prepared to add this or implement this system, because it kind of sounds like a big thing. Maybe coding-wise it isn't, but I can't imagine it not being a big thing, especially if they're, like, going to expand this system. So I don't know. Okay, so the article kind of expands upon what kind of companions you'll get first. There are two companions who players will get to know, Bastion and Miri. Bastion is kind of the chivalrous knight kind of personality, Lambert says. And he was the son of a noble. There was a little bit of strife with his history that I learned more about while adventuring with him. He ended up becoming a servant to another noble family and is essentially being the protector of this rich, sniveling idiot. Okay. The quest line that you go through with him to unlock him. Okay, so it's quest lines. Okay, for specific companions. Alright, so okay, for sure confirmed, not Crown Store. To unlock him as a companion covers one of those adventures. And then once you unlock him, you find out a little bit more about who he is and what his personal tragedy is. Miri, on the other hand, is a Dunmer thief who Lambert describes as having a stab you in the back kind of personality. So basically like a secondhand Naryu. Lambert mentions that she has an interesting twist on her storyline, but wasn't willing to tell me more, obviously. And they keep going on about, the introduction companions is meant to lay the groundwork for more personal relationships going forward. So I think this is like kind of alluding to what I was thinking, or speculating. Like maybe they could expand it to other NPCs, or I don't know. Well, it's gonna be pretty interesting actually. Um, and they mention again that players can spec them to suit their playstyle, and solo players can take them into instances. And this is a key thing because when they first announced it at the global reveal, people were freaking out. They're like, companions. Will they be in Serial? Will they be in Trials? I can probably, you know, very like 99.9% guess that they will not be allowed in Cyrodiil. But yeah, Cyrodiil has way too many performance issues. I don't think it's gonna be allowed in Battlegrounds or Imperial City. Probably not. I don't see companions being allowed at all in Trials. I mean, no matter how much players want to solo trials, I just don't see the point, or there's going to be like balancing issues probably. I don't know, maybe like worst case scenario, they'll allow them in normal trials, which I guess would be kind of okay, but at the same time, I don't know. It just kind of defeats the purpose of like, interacting with players. And I feel like there's a fine line here between making ESO more into a very casual single player game when it should be, more about building human connection and, finding friends or making friends, excuse me, and making memories and just having fun. I know that's not everyone's thing at various points in their life or through their gameplay, but for a lot of us, it might kind of just, kill the flow of, fresh people who are interested in partaking in guild activities or guild events or raids or whatever. So yeah, I don't think trials, I don't think PvP. Where I think they'll be allowed, the companion system is probably gonna be 4-man dungeons, and that's gonna be weird. I wonder if there's gonna be a limit on companions. Like let's say like you and a buddy, want to go into a dungeon. You can't find 2 more people for a random normal. So do you both bring out your companions and that's 4, or is it like, can you queue for 4 players and then bust out your companions? So would that make it like 8? So it's gonna be pretty interesting. I don't see it being that. I think I see it more being a total of 4. Um, but yeah, I think it's most likely gonna be dungeons. Instances, that can also be delves, obviously. Public dungeons. But yeah, I mean, there's one more interview that did come out, I think, much earlier. I think it was like 20-some days ago with Rich Lambert. And there's also, they again expand upon the concept of the new campaigning system that'll let you recruit and play alongside NPCs. And this is kind of going into their like concept or philosophy behind why they did the companion system. Lambert says the idea behind companions is to allow solo players in small groups to take on dungeons, and here's the keyword: dungeons. Public dungeons, 4-man dungeons, probably 4-man dungeons he's referring to, because again, there's so much obsession and so much like popularity in like builds that can solo normal dungeons. So I can definitely see it being for dungeons, without worrying about becoming overwhelmed. As a solo player myself, I bluntly asked Lambert what took so long for something like that to be added. Well, I guess solo players don't really know the like performance issues of a lot of content, but that's one thing that would delay something like something like this, or like a whole bunch of other issues, like not even performance, like gameplay balance, class balance, PvP balance, PvE balance, pushing of content. Like there's so many things. It's kind of a weird question. Or maybe he's just so excited about the companion system. He's like, I don't care. What took you so long? But anyway, I think we've learned a lot over the years, and one of the main recurring themes that we've heard from players, especially our more hardcore Elder Scrolls people, is people are scary. Huh. I guess, like, sure, people can be scary. I know, like, so many people think I'm intimidating. I don't know why people think I'm intimidating, but, I guess, again, it speaks to that thing I talked about in regards to, you know, social anxiety amongst a lot of gamers. Not everyone's a social butterfly. And there's some content that they aren't necessarily comfortable with within a large group, but they would deal with a couple of close, trusted friends. And so the beauty of this system, and one of my hopes is, you know, you and a buddy could go and do 4-player dungeons, because you have 2 companions to help you out. So definitely, yeah, I am thinking it's a limit of 4 total, regardless of whether it's a player or a companion. So, okay, it's not going to be 8. It's not going to be 4 players and 4 companions at the same time in the dungeon. I feel like that'd be a bit too much. But they definitely thought about that part. And they keep emphasizing dungeons. So, yeah, that's, I guess, not trials, not PvP. Although I think a lot of people also want in trials. Another benefit to the upcoming companion system, Lambert hopes, is that it'll give folks the confidence to take on tougher dungeons, thereby getting the chance to mingle and engage more with the ESO community. Huh. Yeah, I'm like kind of like mulling over this right now. The confidence to take on tougher dungeons, getting the chance to mingle and engage more with the. But like, what if people like the companion system so much that they, you know, don't want to party it with players? You know what I mean? Like, also, like, I don't understand what tackling tougher content has to do with engaging more with the. I mean, there's so many like different levels and facets of the community you can engage with, even if you don't do combat in this game. It's kind of insane. I mean, it's pretty cool. I don't really get the correlation here, but I guess he explains here. It'll help players develop stronger social ties in game with their companions, so your waifus and your husbandos, but also B, help them kind of edge a little bit more into some of the group content and meeting other players potentially. Potentially is a big word here. There's a sociological aspect to what they're talking about here, and I don't know if it's gonna go the way they think. That's the only thing I'm worried about. But let's keep going, which is really exciting to me because that's where the magic of MMO happens. You know, meeting other people and talking with them and developing those really close social ties. Yeah, I completely agree with the statement. I'm just not sure how the companion system is gonna you know, like help that, but maybe they know something I don't about player behavior. But yeah, I'm really curious, and I'm gonna read all your comments. What you guys think about the companion system? Do you think it's a, you know, cool system? I personally think it's a cool system. I'm just unsure as to like if it could achieve one of the purposes, and primarily just one purpose, like, you know, it's pushing players to meet other people. I don't know how that's gonna work. Other than that, I am glad that they like are releasing little snippets of information. At this point, we can kind of summarize that the companions will not be in PvP trials. They'll mainly be for delves, overland instances, 4-man dungeons, and it's gonna be a limit of 4. There's 2 companions coming out. A dark elf and a knight or Breton. I'm assuming you can like talk with them, develop relationships with them, and even other romances further down the line in terms of development, probably, as they said. And yeah, I mean, you can also set their gear, their rotation, and during the global review of it, they said role. So I guess you could also, maybe they have like preset skills. That probably makes sense to me. I wonder if though, I don't know. There's so much to speculate and think about in regards to the companion system. But yeah, I definitely want to know what you guys think. Thanks for watching. Thanks for enough us and chilling. And yeah, let me know down in the comments below. See you guys next time. Stay safe.